Here are 3 things that make Dragon Ball worse. Stick around to the very end for a bonus reason. I always have to preface this, I love me some Dragon Ball. I've been watching it since the late 90s. These are criticisms because I love the show and I want it to be around for years to come. And I feel unless some of these issues are fixed, Dragon Ball may start to lose some of its luster. All of these issues have to deal with diluting the stakes at hand. It makes us as an audience not really feel like the Z Fighters are ever in true danger. Let's look at, in my opinion, the show that best utilizes high stakes and actually makes us feel the main characters are not void of consequences. That is none other than Breaking Bad. Even in the first episode of Breaking Bad, it opens up with a flash forward moment when Walt is standing there in his underwear outside his RV with a gun in his hand. He attempts to take his own life, but thankfully the chamber is not loaded. We as an audience think, well, oh crap, Walt seems to be in true danger with no way out. Or all the times that Hank nearly figures out who is the real Heisenberg. Or towards the end of the series, all of Walt's evil actions are either going to catch up with him going to prison, him dying of cancer, or his life ending because of the nature of the business that he was in. And if you have seen the show, you know that Walt's actions do actually catch up with him. There are real consequences for his actions. The stakes are high and they are real. Real fast, please throw a giant spirit bomb at that like button. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, throw a dragon fist at that subscribe button. Thank you. Now let's look at Dragon Ball Z and the way they use stakes. At the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Balls were only supposed to be able to revive one person one single time. If they were killed again, then bye-bye forever. Also, there was some tension because if Kami was killed, then the Dragon Balls go away as well. But as discussed earlier, what makes an audience really feel tension is when the stakes are high and there is a genuine feeling there may be consequences like in Breaking Bad. I'll give somewhat of a pass when we learn that there's another set of Dragon Balls on Namek. For one thing, it does make sense that Kami's race made their own set of Dragon Balls on their home planet. But where the stakes start to feel lessened for me is after Krillin is brought back from the most emotional death in Dragon Ball history. What a way to betray the audience, in all honesty. Krillin's death was the emotional catalyst to the first time we ever are introduced to the Super Saiyan form. We as an audience are saddened by the fact that Goku's lifelong friend is gone, and gone for good. Well, at least we think. The Namekian Dragon Balls are gone, and the Earth's Dragon Balls can only bring back a person one time, and Krillin was already brought back once in the original Dragon Ball series after being killed by King Piccolo's son. And honestly, I could not remember if the Namekian Dragon Balls could bring back someone more than once when we were first introduced to them. Well, according to Dragon Ball.fandom, they actually could. So when the Namekian Dragon Balls are used to move Krillin's soul back to Earth, then the following wish is used to bring Krillin back, well, that just dilutes one of the most shocking and emotional moments in all of Dragon Ball. To make it worse, after Dende takes Kami's place as Guardian of Earth, it creates his version of the Dragon Balls. All that only being able to be revived once stuff, well, that goes out the window. Dragon Ball's real lack of stakes going forward after the Frieza saga goes Kaioken times 10. After the Cell saga, everyone that was killed by Cell are wished back except Goku, but let's be honest, we knew he wouldn't be gone forever. For the final showdown with Kid Buu, Bulma wished for everyone to be brought back that had died since the morning of the martial arts tournament. Then there was a 4-month gap and the gang wishes for Earth to be brought back and everyone that had been killed since the morning of the 25th martial arts tournament except those that were evil to be brought back. Then another wish to restore Goku's energy so he can fire off a spirit bomb and kill Kid Buu. And it gets worse. They wish that nobody remembers Buu at all except the Z Fighters. It's like the Buu saga never happened. No one stayed dead, the Earth was brought back, and everyone's memories are gone of all the events. Sure, the Z Fighters are stronger and we get 2 new characters, Oob and Fat Buu, but there are 0 consequences for the entire Buu saga. Now compare that to Breaking Bad, where all of Walt's actions catch up to him in the biggest way possible. I'm going to just barely touch on the second thing that I think makes Dragon Ball worse because they aren't as overused as the other 2 subjects I'm covering, but they seem to be in pretty limited supply by Mr. Popo, so You guessed it, Senzu beans, the magic cure-all and to all injuries, the beans that gets our heroes out of some pretty bad situations. Anyone else think too that Akira Toriyama retconned the use of Senzu beans during the Android saga when Goku comes down with the heart virus? I don't remember the Senzu beans being limited to only physical injuries specifically. Comment below and let me know if I'm wrong. Now let's look at the third thing that makes Dragon Ball worse. What I'm going to talk about has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't even start until Super. It all starts after Frieza's triumphant return. Vegeta looks to have the upper hand on Golden Frieza, but Frieza isn't going away so easily. While Frieza is on the ground and out for the count, he shoots an energy blast straight into the planet, blowing up Earth. Well, thankfully for our heroes, Whis and Beerus happen to be there when Frieza blows up Earth, so Whis uses his abilities to rewind time and save the Earth, and then Goku takes out Frieza. Now this is fine for this situation, but doing this does have unintended consequences for us as an audience. Now during future battles, while Whis and Beerus are present, whether we are consciously thinking of it or not, it takes the stakes away from the battles. It's as if there is always a safety blanket while Whis is present because he's able to rewind time, and this is not a good way to build tension for the audience. And they do try to fix this by stating that Whis can only do the rewind thing only once every so often, and by making it seem that Whis and Beerus are neutral about our heroes and it would allow them to die. But the damage is already done. We as an audience have seen Whis rewind time and save the day once, so in the back of our minds we think he may do it again. And that takes the stakes and the high tension stakes way down in other battles when Whis is present. Saiyan Scholar points this out in one of his videos, but what if Whis would have been present in DBZ during the Saiyan saga or for the Frieza saga? Just watching those battles, with the ability to rewind time and millions of times stronger than the villain, that would make us as an audience think he may just save the day and it takes away from the battles at hand. The bonus thing that I think makes Dragon Ball worse, the call button the Omni King gives to Goku. I'm going to bring up Breaking Bad one more time. I've listened to a video that said the writers of Breaking Bad would write themselves into a corner, not knowing how to get themselves out of it. Then they would come up with a solution to the problem. That is good writing in my opinion. I feel the writers did this with Zamasu, but instead of writing a good way out, they used the magic button to have the Omni King appear and completely wipe away that timeline. It's kind of funny to me because the Dragon Balls are almost like a magic button to get our heroes out of any conundrum, but then they have a literal magic call button to get them out of a problem. Comment below, am I off my rocker, or are there other examples in Dragon Ball of something reducing the stakes at hand? Thank you and God bless.